Now just sit comfortably in your chair. That's it. Getting nice and comfortable. And just relax. That's right. Nice and relaxed. And I want you to place your feet flat on the floor so they're nice and comfortable. That's the way. And place your hands on your legs, nice and relaxed. And now I want you to close your eyes. That's right. Eyes closed. And just relax. All the worries of the day are drifting away while you're here nice and relaxed. That's it. Now I want you to breathe in a nice deep breath and hold it for the count of 2. And then gently exhale. That's right. Nice deep breaths. Keep breathing deeply and just relax. And now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to imagine the top of your head. Be conscious of it, your scalp, and just relax it. Relax all the muscles in it. Nice and relaxed. Just be aware of the top of your head and relax all of the muscles. That's right. And now just become aware of your forehead, the area just above your eyes. Relaxing all the muscles in your forehead. That's it. Nice and relaxed. And then moving down, relaxing all of your facial muscles. Breathing deep and just relax. Relaxing all the muscles in your neck. That's it. Relaxing all of those neck muscles. And moving down to your shoulders. Deeply relaxing your shoulder muscles. Any tightness or tense muscles are all nice and relaxed now. That's it. Just relaxing. And now down into your chest area. Breathing deeply and very relaxed. Relax all the muscles in your arms. Let your hard-working arms just relax. Very relaxed. And now relaxing your stomach area. Relax all of those muscles. Moving into your pelvic region. relaxing all of your muscles as you breathe deeply, moving around into your back. Nice and relaxed back muscles. No tension, just relaxing. And now relaxing your thighs, relaxing those thigh muscles, just letting them relax. That's right, nice and relaxed. And now down into your calf muscles. That's it. Just relax. And just let your whole body relax. That's it. And as you're sitting there, nice and relaxed, I want you to imagine you're lying on a beautiful sunny beach with the nice warm sun shining on your body, making it feel nice and relaxed as the gentle sound of the waves in the background makes you even more relaxed. As you lie there with not a care in the world, and it feels so good to be so happy and relaxed and at one with nature. And as you lie there, soaking in the warm sun as it shines down on you, you hear the faint sound of a crowd in the distance. So you wander over to have a look at what is causing the crowd. And as you get closer, you can see it's a crowd standing outside a church. So you wander over a bit closer. And as you do, you start to see familiar faces in the crowd. And these are all people you know. They're your friends and your family. But you're not sure why they're gathered outside the church. And as you get closer, they all go inside and take a seat. And so you wander inside too, curious as to why they're all gathered in the one place. And as you do, none of them seem to be aware of you entering the church. But up near the altar is an open coffin, and you realize they're all at a funeral. So you walk up closer to the coffin to see who it was that died. And as you near the coffin, the person lying in the coffin looks just like you. You turn around to look at your family and friends, confused as to what's going on. But none of them are aware of you standing there, and many of them are very upset. So you look back into the coffin, and you realize that the person lying dead in the coffin is you. And you have trouble accepting that it's you who died. I mean, how could it possibly be you? You had your whole life ahead of you, didn't you? Didn't you have 10 or 20 or 40 or 60 years ahead of you yet? Surely this can't be right. But you look over to the table at the side, and there's a picture of you. This is your funeral. But you had so much more you wanted to do with your life. So many things you still needed to do. so many things still to take care of, so many things to fix up, so many things to change. How could this have happened to you? What about work? You didn't finish yesterday's work. What about the kids? What about your child you yelled at yesterday that you're going to apologise to today? What about your parents you hadn't seen in months that you needed to visit this weekend? What about the car that needed a service? What about just everything? This simply can't be happening. But it is. Then you hear a voice. It's not like any voice you've ever heard before. But you know this voice is talking to you. And only you. And this voice tells you that your life on earth has ended. There is no more. But that you have some thinking to do before anything else happens. And the voice continues as you listen. And this is what you hear. What would you do if you could have just one more minute of your life back? If you were given one more minute before dying, what would you do? Who would you talk to? What would you say? Would you kiss or hug someone? Who would that someone be? Take a moment to think about what you would do with your one final minute on earth before dying. And what if you had 5 more minutes of your life back? What would you do in your final 5 minutes of your life if you had the chance? Who would you spend it with? What would you say? What would you do? Would you say things that were long overdue? What would you do in your final 5 minutes? And what if you were given 1 hour of your life back? What would you do in your final hour? Would you spend it with a loved one? Would you make it a happy hour? Would you make it a sad hour? Would you scold the kids? Would you finish the fight with your partner or your parents? Would you finish yesterday's work you didn't get finished? What would you do with your final hour here on earth? But what if you were given one final day here on earth? One last day of being alive before your death. What would you do with your final day? Who would you spend it with? What would you say? Where would you go? Would it be a happy or a sad day? Would you laugh? Would you cry? Would you do both? How would you spend your last day here on earth? But what if you had a week? What if you were given 1 extra week before your death? How would you spend your week? Would you go and visit someone you hadn't seen in a long time? Would you make time in your busy work week to spend time with your family? Would you push your family aside for work commitments? Is this what you usually do? Would you argue with that person that irritates you? Would you appreciate the flowers and the trees that keep Mother Earth at the perfect oxygen level for us? Would you appreciate the warm sunshine? Or would you rush off to get the car serviced? What would you do with your last week on Earth? Now, what if you had 1 month left of your life on Earth? How would you spend your final month? Would you continue to work? Would you change who you spend the most time with? What changes would you make during your final month on Earth? And what if you were given 1 more year of life? How would you spend your final year on Earth? What would you do differently than you have been doing? Who would you see more of? Who would you see less of? What would you do with your days? Now, what if you knew you only had 5 more years on Earth before your death? What would and could you do in those 5 precious years? Would you make a difference in other people's lives? Would you change what you do with your life? Would you be a different person? Would you be a nicer person? Would you be a better person? Would you still put things off due to fear? Or would you take a risk? And now, what if you had 10 more years to live? How would you spend those 10 years? What changes would you make? How would your life be different than it is now? Would others notice a difference in you? And what if you only had 30 more years to live? What changes would you make, if any? Would you do anything differently? And what if you knew you only had 50 more years to live? How would you spend your life? How would you spend your day? How would you treat other people? And now, I want you to think about how old you are right now, and realize that for probably many of you listening to this, you may very well fall into one of these categories. You see, it's easy to take other people and nature for granted when we feel like we still have a lot of life to go. But each and every one of us could be in that 1 minute, or 5 minutes, or 1 hour, or 1 day, or 1 week category, and we just don't know it. One day, your heart will stop beating, and you will turn cold, and your body will no longer bend. This is going to happen to you one day. What are you going to do with the rest of your life before that happens? What choices will you make? And now I'm going to count backwards from 10 to 1. And when I get to 1, in your own time, I want you to open your eyes gently until they adjust to the light, and have a big stretch. And if you feel like giving someone a hug, that's fine.